What's up, MEGO fans? Welcome to another edition of the M.I.B. Master Museum. Today's offering will be covering the Figures Toy Company edition of Green Lantern. Let's get in close, guys. Green Lantern has a really cool history. Another one of my favorite superheroes, simply because he had one of the coolest rings, a ring that had limitless powers, simply by harnessing your thoughts. If you can imagine it, let's see. And there's that famous ring. If you could imagine it, the ring could recreate it. And this is a Superpowers edition from Figures Toy Company, which means this guy is a fist fighter with fist fighting action. Our Green Lantern is, as you know, is for museum purposes only. He's of museum quality. So here he will stand. Excellent likeness of the Green Lantern I grew up reading about was Hal Jordan. And we remember that 2011 Green Lantern movie. Tell me your thoughts about that in the comments section underneath this video. I would love to hear about your thoughts on that movie. Didn't do that well at the box office. Not even Ryan Reynolds' genius comedic and athletic ability could really boost that movie. It wasn't too bad though. I didn't have a problem with it because I'm a Green Lantern fan. The CGI was phenomenal, but sometimes I think that it needed more of a plot, more of a background, and we kind of got the origin of how Hal Jordan became Green Lantern. But let's go a little further back for our younger viewers who doesn't really know a lot about Green Lantern. This is not the first Green Lantern. The first Green Lantern was Alan Scott, and that was from the his first appearance was from the All-American Comics number 16. That was all the way back in July of 1940. So the Green Lantern character is not a baby by any stretch of the imagination. He's not young at all. I mean, he's been around for a very, very long time. And his first appearance was All-American Comics, July 1940. And you have a lot of guys that helped create Green Lantern, because Green Lantern was he was discontinued, then they brought it back. They canceled the comic book and they brought it back. So your first creators were John Broome and Gil Kane. And then you had another set of creators that really, I think, did the work for it. The Hal Jordan character that we know and love as Green Lantern was Bill Finger and Martin Nodell. So let's get you in close on this guy. Just a cool figure. So you had a lot of guys that had a lot to do with the creation and the development of this figure, of this character. MEGO back in the 1970s did not produce a Green Lantern, much to a lot of our collectors' surprise. They did not produce a Green Lantern. I wish they did. This is what's so awesome about Figures Toy Company. They are producing a lot of the figures that should have been produced 40 years ago. They're giving us these figures now, 40 years later, which is awesome. And they're putting a spin on it. They're turning some of these guys into fist fighters. So you get the best of both worlds. You get your cake and you can eat it too. And guys, I love cake. So you get a fist fighter, you get a cool figure that didn't exist 40 years ago, and on top of that, he's a fist fighter. He has all these cool abilities, and I would love to see Figures Toy Company continue with the fist fighter routine. Keep making more fist fighters. You can never have too many fist fighters in your collection. And we here at M.I.B Master Museum, we are no exception. We have all the fist fighters. Let's turn this guy around. Once again, excellent instructions on how to operate your fist fighter. Let's see, can we get now? There's our guy. There's Hal Jordan. Let's see, 2015, this set came out. I've owned this particular figure for about a year. I've had him for about a year in our collection, and just a cool figure. There is another Green Lantern Figures Toy Company release figure, and he is a Super Friends, and we'll be doing a review on him down the road. But he's cool. But he's made specifically off the specifications of the Super Friends cartoon from the late 70s to the early 80s. This Green Lantern, once again, Figures Toy Company had complete autonomy to really go in any direction they wanted to with the comic book version of the Green Lantern. And as you can see, this is definitely Hal Jordan's head sculpt. It's a phenomenal head sculpt of Hal. Uniform is, the outfit is done beautifully. There's the molded hands. Tell me what you think about the molded hands for this particular figure. He's a fist fighter. So it's interesting to see if whoever has this guy and has taken him out and tried the fist fighting action on him, I would love to know how these hands do as fist fighters. Because I would love to see him have just maybe regular hands, but then you lose the coolness of these gloves, which really adds to the coolness of the figure and authenticity of the figure, actually. So because he's just, it looks so cool, like he just jumped right out of the comic book. Green Lantern has a pretty standard version of how he received his powers. Hal Jordan is a test pilot, a very good one. And an alien crash lands on Earth and gives Hal the power ring, which it's called. It's called a power ring. And with this ring, Hal basically turns into the Green Lantern. Now, this is where he meets other Green Lanterns like himself from different worlds and universes and galaxies, and they're called the Green Lantern Corps. And they're like a universal police, if you will. I mean, they police the universe. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Green Lanterns, and they all have quadrants in the universe and the galaxy that they protect. So they're like a galactic universal police force, if you will, and that's their job. And I think it's a cool, it's really cool the way they kind of built on that. Now, we talked a little bit about the ring, but I got a cool trivia question. There's a few more popular Green Lanterns that actually had their own comic books. If we're really going to test your Green Lantern history and knowledge. Name a couple of those other Green Lantern guys that had their own comic books. There were a few. I gave you one earlier from the 1940s, and that was Alan Scott. And you know all about Hal Jordan. We're doing this wonderful review on him right now. But there's a few more. If you can name about maybe one or two more, just want to test you guys. They're curveballs, believe me. They're tough. But some of our subscribers are historians. They are definitely up on their DC comics, their Marvel comic history. These guys are really good. So from time to time, I like to kind of test their mental metal, if you will, of their comic book history on certain characters. Last shot of him. There you go. There's this lantern that basically recharges Green Lantern's ring. He needs it. It does wear down. Here's another cool fun fact. The ring will do anything you want it to do. And in one in one issue of the Green Lantern, a ring bearer of the Green Lantern Corps, actually made several hundred more rings simply by asking his ring to do it, and it did. The ring has unlimited, unimaginable powers. That's what makes Green Lantern so cool. And as a kid, I really, I had this little green ring I used to run around with, and it's just, that I was Green Lantern. I was Green Lantern. So one last shot of our star of the show. Guys, we appreciate the love and support that you guys have been giving to the channel. We here at M.I.B. Master Museum, we're gonna keep this train rolling. We're gonna keep the fun going. It's so cool to be a collector right now, and we want to definitely build on that momentum and keep you guys interested, having fun. Like I said, sit back, grab a Pepsi, grab a cup of coffee, wherever you're at, whatever time of day it is, plop on the couch and watch the M.I.B. Master Museum channel. Stay tuned, guys. We have a lot more fun headed your way. With that being said, you know the drill, guys. Keep collecting.